Just to give you a really good example, and if I stopped here, it would be enough. The steering committee said in the new Stadia business plan, in the business plan prepared by New Stadia consultants, it was projected that the Multiplex will host 120 to 150 events per year. I thought that was really wow. So I went into the new Stadia report that was quoted by the group. New Multiplex facilities typically schedule 120 to 150 events per year, depending on location, community support, which is often based on demographics, entertainment options, and disposable income. Further down, New Stadia has projected only 12 concerts and family shows per year in the business plan. Now, is that just because somebody couldn't read? Or is that what often is called strategic manipulation of the facts? Because that's a big difference. That was one of the number one reasons we're talking about building downtown, was because of the economic impact. Real economic studies have shown, and I have a PhD in engineering, and I do research, have shown that there is little or no impact of downtown arenas on economic development. In fact, it's more often negative. And I've quoted to you a number of people who have written papers. Yes, there are people who have written papers saying that the economic impact is wonderful, and usually they're paid for by the teams that want to build that arena downtown because they want to have a new WOW arena. But I gave to you, I believe it was sent out to you, the economic impacts of Mile 1 Centre in St. John's, Newfoundland. And I don't know whether you read it or not, but it says, it has been suggested that events which are designed for entertaining local audience, such as concerts, hockey games, generate minimal incremental economic impact on the local economy. Local people attending games, sporting events, or concerts, especially those geared for a younger audience, tend to come directly at start time and return home when the event's over. And in fact, it said in that report, and this was a study based on feedback from the businesses in the area of that downtown arena, that it is believed that lack of parking effectively discouraged customers from shopping downtown when there are events taking place. And what was the result of this? Very low attendance for their junior hockey team, their CHL team, and it's now been sold and moved to Vernon, and they're sitting there without an arena. By far, the majority of people said the big issue was lack of parking to go to these games, and the number of tickets they were getting for parking in the wrong spots. Kingston has just opened an arena, very similar story. I could swear it came from here.
Mr. Wood, you're in your last minute.
Okay, thank you.
We give Mr. Leaford longer, let's give this one longer.
Give him time.
Might as well
I just want to point out that they had a steering committee, 5,700-seat arena built downtown over the objections of the community. Projected cost at the steering committee, $28 million. Final cost, $46 million. First game attendance, 5,700 while everybody was there. Second game that they held there, 2,200 people. 4,000 average the rest of the season. But if you check into it, it appears that a good number of those tickets were given away by businesses trying to show that we could really attract people. And 3 concerts that have been canceled. And I'll just point out, before I give I have a recommendation here for you. And I want to see something built. I just don't want to see the wrong thing happen. And if we follow the results of St. John's, and they've got a lot more people than we do, we could see the same result. Parking matrix showing downtown and civic center as 2 each? That's ridiculous. And so I've shown you some diagrams. You throw a center in there, and we can talk about that. $75,000 for the soils that we have in downtown? That's ridiculous. I don't know who looked at that. And the fact that you're building a multiplex where people are going to walk 6 blocks and then climb 3 flights of stairs. Whereas if you built it at a site where you can actually put it down so people come in at a proper level. I'll skip to my mention of the fact that the possibility of error is about 35% in the type of estimates you had. So the result is we've got a questionable plan, a total lack of credibility, a divided, unhappy community, probability of legal action, and possibility of financial problems. What I'm suggesting is I think we need, given the real look at this report, to bring in an independent professional to evaluate the report and the associated data. Not to study it over again, take the same data that they have, collect some real community input, assess the risks, and recommend the pros and cons of some of these. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Are there any questions? Councillor Looney?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Wood, I just want to thank you for coming tonight and sharing the information that you have here, which I know personally is 2 years of research and hard work because of your love for this community and what you think is the right thing to happen with this project, because I know from our conversations that both you and I want to see something happen that happens correctly and happens properly. My motion went on the floor almost 2 years ago to the day to have this project started at the Civic Centre site. And I believe you're right. I think it would have been opened in the fall and the Warriors would have had a beautiful facility overlooking the golf course. And it would have been a really nice facility at less than the cost that it is today. And I personally would like to see some of this information researched further. There's no secret that I believe something isn't right with the report that came forward. And that isn't a secret to my colleagues around this table. And I find it interesting that every time the people that get an opportunity to speak about their concerns of this project are told that we should either wrap up the discussion like I was just told to do by one of my colleagues. I just want to thank you very much, because I know you love this community. You did raise 4 children here, and we all love this community. And this should not be ignored, the information in this report. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Councillor Swanson.
I was just going to say, I would think Dr. Wood teaches carpentry up at SciAS. He hit the nail on the head so many times there with what he was saying. I guess I'll be real brief about this, but the 3 last meetings of the steering committee were basically held in camera. They brought a secret report to council at 6:30 that was passed at 8:15 that did not allow for anyone in the community to respond to it like is done in any other community that contemplates building something as large as this. There is an opportunity for the community to provide feedback. I thank Mr. Wood for what he said, and I'm sure he's going to have a new project to show the future engineering technologists of the world just how not to do something and how something can be so badly done and done so secretly, so fiscally irresponsibly, and all the other things that Mr. Wood mentioned.